What is up, Bucs fans? It is week one of the NFL, and very excited as we are here live on a Wednesday. It's awesome, Mark, that we're almost here. We got football coming less than I don't know how many days, but football tomorrow and then Friday, and then obviously Sunday is the big game that we all are concerned about. Buccaneers going into Atlanta for week one. First of all, how are we feeling? How are we doing? How's everything as we get ready for this awesome, exciting football year that we have in store for us?
Real games matter, and it's going to be action-packed, guys. It starts off with an NFC South foe. It's going to be fun. I mean, we're going to break it down, what we see the Falcons present, and it's just finally time to actually see what we actually have. Not just know what you have on paper. What does it look like on the field? Like, you have these new shiny toys. You have the new defensive guys that know how to put up numbers, but can they do it in the scheme? Does Todd Bowles get his name back for being a good defensive play caller and a defensive coach, considering how his defense has been? I mean, last thing he had in taste your mouth was ass on this Buccaneer defense. So it's going to be, I think, much improved. But, I mean, that's time will tell, right? But either way, it's a lot of answers will be had on this first game, but that's not the end-all be-all, because we stomped the Washington Commanders week one last year, and guess what? We lost them first game of the playoffs. So it means everything's in motion, everything's fluid, as you like to say, but it's going to be fun to actually have meaningful games starting up and against a foe that we all do not want to lose to and desperately want to just beat the crap out of.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you guys are joining us, again, we appreciate all the support. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to check out our Substack, which I'm going to put here on the screen. We just put up a video there talking about the Atlanta Falcons, talking about Bijan Robinson and Drake London. They really do a great job of featuring those guys. So it's going to be important for the Bucs to find a way to limit the running game of the Falcons offense, because that's how they operate. They do a lot of play action stuff, a lot of quick game, a lot of finding the ways of the middle of the field. That's how they attacked us last year. But we'll see how that is different with Servassier Dennis in there now guarding the middle of the field, also having Antoine Winfield and Tyke Smith healthy, among others, back. But be sure to check out our Substack. We have, again, a lot of great content, as you see here on the screen, go into a lot of different film studies. And really, that's where you're going to find a lot of our exclusive content. So be sure to check that out. But with that said, before we get into the matchup, we did have some news yesterday talking about Luke Goedeke, the Buccaneers' right tackle, gets a 4-year extension. This was kind of expected, but it's just awesome to see that they got it done. 4 years, $90 million, makes him, I think, the third highest paid right tackle in the league. And I mean, Mark, this is how Jason Light builds his team. He has this offensive line in place for the next several years, and I think you have to be excited as a Bucs fan knowing that you have one key staple of the offense set and ready to go.
Yeah, it's huge. This is massive. I think Wirfs was the second highest paid left tackle, and you got Goedeke as your third highest paid right tackle. Yep. But there's not a more deserving guy, to be honest, to be next up to be paid, but also getting paid deservingly so, because the dude just got better every year and has become such a consistent right tackle that you don't even think about it. You're just like, oh, I know he's going to do his job. He's going to either fight his tail off to get the job done, or he's going to run right over someone because he is that damn good. And no offensive player or offensive lineman gets the notoriety they should. And he's just one of them. Like, he's a guy that just loves to come to work, loves this team, loves the teammates he has. And he's well deserving of that contract. And like you said, Jason Light pays the guys that he drafts. Usually that's the only guys he brings in. You tend to say he needs to start throwing more money at certain positions. I fight you on that. But the thing is, like, this is what he wants to do and how teams should be built, right? This is why you have this culture. This is why you have a consistency where they're going to fight to the end of the game. They're not going to just give up looking for a contract, because they know if they play well enough in a certain team, they're going to get that. And there will be respect, and there will be just where it's just not a paycheck. It's actually a team bonding thing. And I think that's one huge thing where I think any Buccaneer will say it. Mike Evans says it. All the long tenured Levante David says it. It's just you want to be those dudes, and they make it known. I want to be that guy who is Levante David. Guess what? You're just adding to the list with these guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Again, it's just building that culture. Again, keeping the continuity in place, and I think you're seeing that on offense and how they're able to build their team, and they're doing a good job of keeping guys together, keeping the core players. And if you play well here, I think it shows that you're going to get rewarded if you do what they're what they're asking from you. Obviously, they back it up with wanting you to stay here, unlike other teams like the Dallas Cowboys, who just traded away Micah Parsons. So yeah, I mean, I think you have to feel good about that, and how Jason Light and his staff, along with the coaching staff, is building this team. But let's continue on, and we'll get into
One other point though. So
yeah,
because what's coming out right now with the Micah Parsons thing of like his back, his strained ligaments in his back. I'm like, everyone's like, that's the why, that's the reason. I'm like, but then again, like we've signed Chris Godwin twice after like big injuries. We're talking the ACL injury. Don't care, bringing him back. Oh, dislocated fractured ankle. We're still bringing him back. We're paying him handsomely. So it's like, you really pay for those guys that want to be on the team. And look at Chris Godwin taking the pay cut to be here. Like that's huge, as opposed to Micah Parsons, who wanted to be the highest paid defensive player, ends up being a tick below Myles Garrett, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, what would happen if Jason and I ever had that opportunity, or like a situation like that? I don't know if it would happen, because this is the way they draft, right? They almost like chalk these guys off the board. They put football over money, I guess, but sometimes it's hard to make sure you get those types of guys. It's difficult, especially today.
Yeah, for sure. And with that, I want to transition, and we'll just look at the Buccaneers depth chart. And obviously, the final, or not the final, but the initial roster is in place. But as you see there, again, that offensive line is going to be around for a while, which is awesome. But you're going to have Charlie Heck in there at left tackle this week. We'll go into that and what the game plan would be for the offense. But you start with Mike Evans, and again, you have Emeka Egbuka as the number 2 wide receiver, and then Sterling Shepard, Tez Johnson, Ryan Miller, Cam Johnson as the last receiver. But Mark, when we look at this offense, and obviously Baker Mayfield and the running backs leading the way, just your thoughts on what this offense is capable of, and how dangerous can they be, not only this week but throughout the season.
It's going to be a fun offense to watch. I mean, so you're still driven by Baker and how far he can take you. The turnovers thing is going to be huge again. Like this is his biggest thing. Like he's nowhere near the Jameis Winston, but he does sometimes either take a sack he shouldn't take, throw a ball he shouldn't have thrown, or there's just sometimes in games where a quarterback has to make a game management decision where he would falter at times. I think we've talked about this in the offseason. He's talked about it multiple times. The QB coach has talked about it multiple times.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you hope it's in the back of his head. So in those situations, we rely on the whole team, not just yourself. But overall, like the weapons that they have, yes, they're injured right now at receiver. But I mean, think about it. Chris Godwin could be coming back around week 4, a little bit after. You have McMillan week 8, hopefully, sometime around that. But still, you don't necessarily need those guys. Yes, you're going to be leaning on Mike Evans heavily, Kate Otten heavily, and Egbuka. Let's see what happens. Everyone thinks he's just going to be pigeoned in the Chris Godwin role. I think it's just because of the attention Mike Evans is going to get that he will probably thrive early. But still, it's it's more to me the running game that you're going to have to lean on early, and
Yeah.
you should. I mean, why force something? Why force an air raid offense if your running game is there? And lean on those tackles that you paid handsomely, right?
Mhm.
But I mean, your right side is phenomenal. Graham Barton, I'm expecting to have a huge step up this year as well. So,
Right.
and it's Mike Evans, you know what you got, and the rest of it, I think you're gonna have a great running game yet again, and then just feed off of that. The play action fakes will be there. Let's see what happens with a little bit more tight end influence, right?
Mhm.
But I want to see what this offense is going to look like. If it's going to be more motion, it's going to be more target specific, like isolated mismatches. I don't know, but so either way, you have a multitude of ways you can use guys in this offense. Sterling Shepard, I know last year he had some drops, but a hell of a slot player. That's my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the question for the offense is Josh Grizzard. Again, he's the new play caller, the new offense coordinator. What is his offense going to be in comparison to what we saw last year? Obviously, there's going to be modifications. There's going to be, different wrinkles brought into the factors here for the offense. But how does he sequence? How does he play call? How does he adjust? I think will be good tests this weekend, especially against a Falcons defense that, has struggled in pass coverage, has had its struggles against the run as well. They've added new pieces, and we'll bring that up here. Looking at their defense, again, adding Leonard Floyd, they brought in James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker. Those are the two rookies that are definitely going to, see playing time. Arnold Ebiketie is a guy that we wanted back in what was that 2022. So they have a front that is athletic. It's different. The linebacking core I think has been upgraded. Caden Ellis, Diablo is another one that has been good. So, and
They're
then the
all
second,
athletes, man. There are a lot of athletes and young guys that can move.
yep, yep. And then the secondary, I think, is still their weakness because again, I think Mike Hughes and whoever plays nickel, if it is going to be Billy Bowman, again, that could be a matchup that maybe the Buccaneers try to take advantage of. We'll see how that plays. You have Xavier Watts, again, another rookie, but talented player. We did his film study, so we know all about him. And then Jesse Bates is still top notch, along with AJ Terrell. So again, they have some more talent on that side, and it's going to be interesting to see how this Buccaneers offense attacks. And yeah, I think obviously the big key is what do we do with Charlie Heck? Do we leave him one-on-one? Probably not often, I would imagine. I think we try to run the football, obviously try to get that established, utilize.
Go back to their depth chart. So, like when I said young athletes, their front is very, I'm not going to say undersized. David Onyemata is pretty big, but other than that, they don't have much heavy size. All the rest are just guys can get after it. Brandon Dorless, I really liked coming out of college, but he's an undersized defensive tackle. He's like an edge / defensive tackle.
Right.
I think he's more of a gap shooter. Leonard Floyd, very slender, so to speak. Arnold Ebiketie, very top heavy, not much girth, but beneath them. And then the linebackers are just, again, athletes that can fill holes, but I think they're just trying to be an attacking defense. That's why, like you just said, lean on the running game. Good, because we got a running game nowadays. So I would heavily lean on that. Get these athletes running the wrong way, and then bring in your play action fakes. But it just remains to be seen because then you got rookies in the backfield and Billy Bowman and Xavier Watts, very much ball hawk type guys, but still they're seeing things they haven't seen in college, or it's the first game of the first NFL season. Yeah, things can be, holy crap, I'm thinking too much, and that's where you can take advantage. So, yeah, I would say heavily lean on the run for those factors nonetheless.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, just looking at what the Buccaneers will try to do, again, you'll have matchups that you can try to exploit. Again, Ibuka having the matchup, you'll probably see a lot of one-on-one coverage as well. Again, I think with their new defensive coordinator for the Falcons and Jeff Albright, like him coming in over from the Jets, like he runs a lot of, cover three. He likes to be aggressive, does some blitzing as well. Sometimes plays some man coverage, but they like to mix it up. So you'll see some different looks. And I know Baker Mayfield talked about today, discussing it with Hassan Reddick and like what he likes to do from a defensive standpoint. So it'll be interesting, but I think the keys to this game, you're going to see a lot of 12 personnel, run the football, utilize the play action pass, and try to get Baker, kind of outside the pocket and get him on the run and throw some. You have that quick passing game going, and then you open up your shots down the field later on. So that should be definitely something to look for.
I mean, and overall, like the Bucs offense, don't shoot yourself in the foot, stay in the game, learn from your experiences of last year. Yeah. And the defense, I just think based off of just improving from last year. Last year, they were just a bloody nose. They couldn't stop, right? Just like nonstop. Like the Kirk Cousins 500-yard game. Come on now.
Yeah.
And then we haven't seen Penix, so you don't necessarily know what you're going to get, because I feel like the Buccaneers defense of recent, a rookie goes in there, they make them look good. But
yeah,
let's see. Like Todd Bowles usually throws dynamic blitz schemes at rookie quarterback. So does he stay with that aggressive identity? Let's see. Considering a majority of them are healthy, the only one that really hasn't practiced is Ian. So is he in or is he not?
Yeah, I think, and let's talk about, the Bucs defense versus the Falcons offense. And obviously up front with the Buccaneers depth chart, you have Cansey, Vita Vea, Logan Hall, Yaya Diaby, Hassan Reddick as your front and your edge, and then Servassier Dennis and Levante David, Jamel Dean, Zion McCollum, Antoine Winfield, and Tyke Smith. So not a lot of change there. I think the biggest thing is obviously the addition of Hassan Reddick, but you have a healthy unit. And I say healthy, and let's go to the injury report, because Vita Vea didn't practice today. So obviously that is concerning with the foot injury. I'm hoping it's just like, sore foot and he just needed rest. He doesn't really need to practice, in my opinion. I think he'll be fine if he didn't practice, but hopefully he's back tomorrow, because if he doesn't play, that changes some things, obviously. It changes the defense, and it would be nice just to have him out there and have a healthy start to the season. It looks like Benjamin Morrison could be making his way back for this game. Again, he was limited today, but it looks like the rest of these guys, Cade Otton, Josh Hayes, Sean Tucker, all should play. We're not going to see Tristan Wirfs or Chris Godwin, and Izian probably won't play either with the oblique injury. So really the only question mark becomes, is Vita Vea going to be okay? But what's your thoughts there, and how do you feel overall about the injury report?
I mean, overall, fantastic with the upgrades that we have. And not just Hassan Reddick, but getting Servassier back, Kalijah Cansey healthy for a week one starting the season. I mean, let's see what we can develop and bring. Like even from last year, Yaya had his amazing training camp, and all of a sudden, boom, there was an ankle, and it was like a lingering injury throughout the year. The guy's healthy. The whole front is healthy besides Vita Vea's random foot.
Yeah.
Maybe it fell asleep, and he's just like, I just want to take the day off. We'll just say that. Yeah, that's what you're hoping. But
yeah,
I mean, overall, everyone else is intact. The nickel corner I thought was kind of cool. I talked to you about that yesterday, about if Christian Izian can't go, what are they going to do to move people around? You're very confident Jacob Parrish is going to be in there, but Todd Bowles mentioned Tyke Smith and Zion McCollum moving in nickelback. So I don't know if that's them being the backup behind Parrish or not, but it was just very telling that he didn't even mention Jacob Parrish.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Parrish is a starting nickel. So I think you're going to see him out there quite often. And then I think Vildor and Hayes will be your backup corners, especially if Morrison can't go. And then the safety room, Obviously Merriweather and Wisdom could be the third safety going in if Izzian is out. But overall, I think defensive front versus this Falcons offense, if we go back to the Falcons offense, and again, I talked about this in our latest video on the Substack. They do a great job of featuring this guy right here, Drake London. He's big time, and they find ways to get him the football. Really did a great job of attacking the middle of the field, especially against the Buccaneers when they were in Atlanta last year. They just continued to attack the seams and attack the holes in the coverage. But hopefully that changes with Servassier Dennis in there, and obviously Winfield should help with that. And then Bijan Robinson. Again, this guy, we kept him under 80 yards, but he was still efficient as hell. He had, I think, 5 yards per carry in both games. So he is one to look out for, and hopefully Vita Vea is in there so we can help with stopping the run. But if you look at their offensive line, they have injuries as well. Their new starter at right tackle is Elijah Wilkerson, who hasn't played, I don't think, since 2023 as far as starting in a game. And he's starting at right tackle here for the Falcons. So definitely that is a matchup to watch, him versus Hassan Reddick for sure.
So, I mean, I love the enthusiasm from Steven Stansfield, the all caps. But this one got me. Braswell should get 5 stacks versus Penix. That will be a great start. If that happens, buddy, you should be the one winning the lottery, that $1.3 billion.
Yeah.
That'd be hell of a start to the season. Maybe going against that right tackle plus I'm mentioning. But I mean, overall, I think Hassan Reddick is just going to be a name that people know, and they're going to key in on him when he's on the field. I think Yaya's going to benefit from that heavily. Right. And I think people just keep underestimating what Kalijah Kancey can do. Yes, it'll help if Vita Vea is on the field, but either way, the dude is just a man you can move around anywhere. You can put him on the outside, you can put him inside. You can find the mismatch of who's looking slow off the snap, and he's going to attack. And I'm ready to see him get a full season and a good start to it. So stay healthy, knock on some wood, Buck fans, but the front seven, if healthy, can do some amazing things, Logan Hall included.
Yeah, for sure. I think Kancey is going to get matchups against the right tackle that we talked about with Wilkerson. Like you can see Kancey go outside and play the edge. So I think, again, I mentioned it, London and Robinson are definitely guys to watch. There'll be another factor is Darnell Mooney going to play in this game. Again, he's day-to-day with his shoulder injury. As you see here, he was limited today in practice. So, could he be out? That would obviously be a big boost for the Buccaneers defense. But I think the big factor to watch for, especially with the Bucs defense versus their offense, is making sure the middle of the field is contained, like we talked about, and then tackling overall has to be really good, because the Falcons, they will find ways to do those run plays, zone runs, and then they will come back with a different play and get the ball out of the hands of Michael Penix and find easy completions. But then their guys make people miss, and that's what makes their offense continue to go. So that's going to be, definitely one to watch. Obviously, the front seven is going to have to generate pressure. Do we see tighter coverage in the secondary? I'm hoping that we can do that.
That's what we've heard, right?
Yeah, that's what we've heard. And hopefully we see some press coverage, disrupt the timing of the offense and try to get them to do some different things. Because really that is what I'm looking for. The defense this year is them not adjusting to what the offense is doing. They need to make the offense adjust to what the Bucs are doing. And that's what I'm hoping we see this week on Sunday.
And I mean, again, the 2 games we had Servassier, the defense looked amazing.
Yeah.
So it's just, you can't have that many weaknesses on your defense. That's what defense is. You're slowing the other team down to get the ball back for your offense. If you can't slow no one down, this is what happens. And it was at two levels. All of our corners were hurt, and your middle of your defense was done.
Yep.
You can't ask Levante to do everything, right? You have to have a running mate. Levante was asked to do too much. Servassier in there healthy. Let's see what happens. And you have a veteran behind him and Deion Jones that knows what he's doing too. Corners are healthy right now with depth, and I like how where was it? Centurio Greer said, "Is it give me Bryce Hall over Hayes?" I 100% agree with that, but I think Hayes just is there for special teams mainly.
Yeah,
A huge factor in special teams. I know Plus isn't the highest on special teams, but I think I'm high on special teams. If Bryce Hall gets the call up, it's because of an injury or someone can't go. But I do agree with you. Bryce Hall is a better player. And I thought he should have made the team, but special teams, the special teams coach even said, he's like, this is the first time in a long time I've had like 8 legit starters for my special teams. And they're set. He's like, I don't have to keep thinking about every week to week what I'm going to choose. And Josh Hayes is a credit to that. So I think that's telling, and why this whole roster is kind of depth and built for a long run. Yes, there's some right now you're pissed off about the injuries of the offensive line, Chris Godwin, McMillan, but damn it, it's ebbs and flows of the season. You heard that from BA. Guys will come back, guys will go down. You just hope you don't have big injuries that it's like team costing. Like it's like guys you need are vital for your deep long runs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, this is going to be an exciting season for the Buccaneers. It's the start of week 1. I think it's important. It's even more important this week because it is a division game, so it counts, twice as much. So I think for the Bucs, they obviously want to get off to a quick start, a fast start, and start the season the right way. But looking at this matchup again, we talked about it. Versus their defense, I think you got to find a way to establish that run game and be better up front against the Falcons, and find ways to get those mismatches in there and attack them consistently. So those will be key. Can we run the football? Can we get the ball to Mike Evans and Emeka Egbuka and get those more explosive plays that we're looking for?
But I mean, so KGH for life mentioned it. Kirk Cousins only had 2 great games last season. Both were against the Bucs. That's an indictment on Bowles' scheme and strategy. Again, those are valid points and arguments. And he comes back. There's no reason Bowles to play it safe against Penix. That's something we mentioned earlier. Like Bowles usually does throw the kitchen sink at rookie quarterbacks. The weird diverse blitzes where there's like 9 guys in the line, 3 bail out or 4 bail out, and you're like, what the hell's happening? Does he throw that with aggressive play on the outside too? Holy shit, if it does, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like, I think with the bearing no injury, bearing Vita Vea plays, he can throw a front 4 out there that is going to be generating pressure. I think some of his blitz packages will be a simulated blitz, and it'll just be a 4-man blitz, 4-man pressure.
Right.
Because, I mean, you don't necessarily have to. Drake London, cover him. Mooney, deep option, okay. Get a safety over top. But, like, I'm not necessarily terrified because Servassier in the middle can cover. And Devontae, we know, can cover. It's who can get to the quarterback fast and rush a decision. And if we're playing close coverage and outside, I think this is good for the Buccaneers, just to be honest. And it doesn't necessarily have to throw these crazy blitz schemes where sometimes you're letting guys get open because you're throwing too much at it.
Yeah, for sure. And just looking at it, obviously, the offense, if the Buccaneers offense can control, the football, have sustained success running the ball and control the clock, I think that's going to be important. Keeps your defense off the field. But yeah, attacking their offense, like I said, you have to be aware of where Drake London lines up at all times. Bijan Robinson has lined up out wide. We've seen him be a dangerous receiver. So just got to be prepared for the different looks that they're going to present. Kyle Pitts has been another issue, especially against the Bucs. So it's important that we find ways to exploit this Falcons offensive line. I think, again, Jake Matthews can be had. I think Bergeron, they have a new starting center. So obviously you want to get that interior pressure. We've seen Kalijah Cansey beat Chris Lindstrom before, so I wouldn't expect much to change there. And Elijah Wilkinson, again, new right tackle. I think this is his first time starting at right tackle. Yeah, like exactly. Like we have to find ways to collapse the pocket and get after the quarterback. And again, young quarterback playing. Todd Bowles, I think, can scheme it up, and hopefully we can just sit back and play coverage and, like you said, do those simulated blitzes and get him confused to maybe throw some bad footballs, and hopefully our guys are the ones catching them.
And sprinkle in situational blitz where it's just,
yeah.
I don't think like how you saw the Eagles sit back the entirety of the game against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Right. I don't think it's in Bowles to do that. I don't think he can just sit back the entirety of a game. He's going to send some diverse blitz, or even if it is just a 3 lineman and he sends a corner, someone's going in from somewhere where they shouldn't have. Even though it may be 4 guys going in, he's still going to make it look diverse. And that's the creativity of Todd Bowles, where the scheme works if it's run correctly and you have the manpower to do it. Mm-hmm. So the identity is going to be huge if you can keep your identity, because your great players you have don't get hurt. Losing Antoine Winfield Jr., losing Servassier, not having Kalijah Cansey for spurts of the season, an injured Yaya, and no running mate next to him. I mean, this time you have some men to fill those voids. I mean, Hassan Reddick is a pretty big upgrade over JTS. Servassier, you saw the massive upgrade he was over KJ Britt. And Antoine Winfield Jr., not many people can fill that guy's shoes. So
right,
that was almost a 1-of-1. So let's see, with a healthy defense, what the hell he can do in getting after a young quarterback with an injured offensive line or new guys starting. And Darnell Mooney, if he doesn't play, holy hell. Mm-hmm. Stop the run and just double Drake London. Let's see.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is going to be a fun matchup. I think it's going to be interesting to see how the game starts. I think that will be a key tell to how the game will, play out. But really what I'm looking for is offensively, can we run the football? And then can we find the matchups that we expect to have in Bucca and obviously the other talent, the utilization of the screen game, all those things factor in. And then defensively, we talked about it. Can this pressure get to Michael Penix? Can they find ways to get him into 3rd and long situations? That is going to be, the telltale sign of this game. And really what it boils down to is it's going to come down to turnovers. Usually that's the name of the game. Protect the football, take it away, and then be effective inside the red zone as well.
You're on the road, don't get the crowd involved. That's why I said, like, early on, like it's always going to be revolved around Baker and how far he can take us. Like,
right.
He has the amazing plays where he's doing the DeVito in the end zone, right? Mm-hmm. And you're like, holy hell, how did he do that? But sometimes it's just the reliable, let's get it to the next down. Let's not force something. Yeah. Let's not take a sack here so we can get 3, right? And those are pivotal points, because almost every damn game we were in last year, and we lost by a possession or 7 points or less. So those are meaningful possessions. Every possession's meaningful, whether you're punting it, helping your team with field position, or you're at that 50-yard line. You're wondering, am I going to get 3 or am I going to lose 3 because I took a sack? So situational football is huge. I think that's something they emphasized a lot over the offseason. Just get the ball to your playmakers. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. And one man's not Superman. And I think that's something we always kind of talk about here at Real Bucs Talk. It's like 11 working as 1. It's not 1 working as 11.
Yep, for sure. A couple of great comments in here. Again, Kyle, appreciate you joining us. Emphasize pressure with 4 this year. It's going to be huge. Yep, agreed. Again, another great comment here by Baker Bro. If they can hold it together until they are full strength, it'll be exciting to watch. Completely agree. I think it's going to be awesome to see this offense once it does get, everyone back. Just imagine the receiver sets of Evans, Sabuka, Godwin, McMillan. That's just crazy to think about. So yeah, really exciting stuff there.
And what's even more crazy is like you just said
Yeah.
earlier in the week, Cameron Johnson's going to be your main punt returner, kick returner, right?
Mhm.
Sean Tucker is a kick returner, but still, like
Yeah.
Tez is a good punt returner. For them not to put him out there, it's almost like they have certain plays that they're going to use him with, gadget plays or just quick screen plays where his make you miss ability is going to be used, right?
Mhm.
You don't want to get him hurt, so you can't use those plays, especially early on with the injuries. But still, like imagine that in that same fold of those main four, and then you have him that can do that stuff. It's
Mhm.
it's like the corner looks out. Who the hell am I covering this time? I just want to get used to one guy.
Yeah.
And now there's three different guys at one possession. It's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's interesting. There was also a good point by Greg Allman. I heard him talking about Cameron Johnson versus Tez Johnson, and they were saying maybe it's just a veteran thing as far as having Cam as the number one. We could potentially still see Tez Johnson do punt returns. But like I was talking with you, I think they're going to probably hold back until they get more guys at receiver. They don't want him to get hurt on, returns. But again, he's so deadly at making guys miss. Maybe they put him out there, but that's something to monitor and see how that plays out. But I agree with you. I think Tez is definitely going to be a factor on offense to start the year, and just his ability to get high percentage completions for Baker and then turn that from a 1 yard gain to a 10 yard gain because of his explosiveness. That is something you can't have enough of. Like, that's so important. That's what Bucky does on his runs.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the offense better than what you're scheming it for. It's just that extra oomph that you just can't have enough of that kind of stuff around your team.
That's what makes players special, though. It's like not
Yeah.
just the catch, but what you do after the catch. I mean, that's what Jamar Chase was last year. Like, I think they were saying like 50% of his yards were after the catch. It's like, how the hell is it even possible? How many times you breaking them away? So it's
Yeah.
but that's an upper echelon type of guy. But still, Bucky does that. It doesn't necessarily mean you got to take it to the house. It just make people miss and get to the first down, get a little bit more. Because I mean that's the difference between a game of inches, getting a first down, and it's now 4th and 1. So I mean,
Yeah.
you have a combination of a bunch of guys who can do that. You're extending drives, you're getting first downs, you're getting touchdowns, and that's how you win games.
Yeah. It's going to be fun to watch because, again, Emeka Buka, same thing. Like, this guy knows how to get things after the catch. He knows how to break tackles. Again, physical player, smart player as well. So that's going to be fun to see. And then when you look at all of that talent, we talk about the running back room, we talk about the receivers. You almost forget about the tight end position and how stacked it is, because you still have Kadon, who again is a very good player. He's going to play this week. You have Payne Durham, who I think is going to be a surprising force for this offense as far as not only run blocking, but his ability to make plays in the passing game. I think is going to be underrated. And again, there's been so much hype about Devin Culp as well. So seeing that group and how they're used, I think is going to be definitely a fun trend to watch, especially early in the year. With Josh Grizzard and his condensed packages that he likes to run. We saw that in the preseason. I think you're going to see more of it here against the Falcons. So that's going to be something definitely to monitor for sure.
Yeah, and how do the Falcons relate to that, right? So it's not necessarily we have to adjust to different quarterback. They have to adjust to a different play caller and additional guys on defense that weren't there majority of the last season. So a lot of teams look at it as like, oh, the other team has these upgrades. So, well, so do we. And there's first couple of weeks, like it's a lot of what are they going to throw out there? What do they change? So sometimes it is, holy hell, what is this new thing? I mean, look, think about it this way. Wasn't it the Saints last year came out back to back 40-point games
Mm-hmm.
or 2-0, and then
Yeah.
look how they ended, right? So
Yeah.
it's don't necessarily get so excited at the beginning. It's near the end where you want to start getting hot, but still, like you want to come out showing that you've made improvements, made adjustments from last year.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. I think again, being better in situational football,
Yeah.
being better, on third downs, especially on defense. We hope to be as good on third down as we were last year on offense. Again, we're best in the league, 50% conversion rate. We're hoping we can have that same kind of magic. But with that said, I want to get into we kind of talked about the upside of this team, talked about the positives. We talked about the certain matchups that we're going to see in this game to look for. But let's talk about just concerns on offense, concerns on defense. Maybe not for just this game, but just going into the season. What are we concerned about the most for each side?
I mean, offensively, clearly is Grizzard ready to take the helm, right? How
Right.
much of a learning curve will it be? Will it
Yeah.
be like Dave Canales, where it took a long time to develop and he's hard headed doing one certain thing? Or is this something where he's been here for a while now? He's learned the Dave Canales way, the Liam Cohen way. Oh, maybe I should just adjust on the fly and just keep adjusting and adding to the wrinkles that do work, right?
Right.
Do we do that? Like that's hopefully it's a learned quick process. But he's already dialed up the third down plays from last year, and you knew he was the best at it in the whole entire NFL. So you're hoping that's a carryover, but nothing's set in stone, right? So that is the biggest question mark. And then other than that, how do they deal with the early injury woes on the offense, right?
Yeah.
How much can you lean on Mike Evans because you know he's going to get doubled? And will Ibuka, even though he had a tremendous camp, succeed in this Chris Godwin role, even though he wasn't supposed to be thrusted into this immediately, but now he is, right? So
Right.
you hear nothing but good things, but can he truly do it? And then Wirfs being hurt, it's Baker's blind side as he continue to hold the ball and get hurt because of your all world left tackle isn't there, or does the running game take a step back because of that? Like those are a lot of concerns I would have. I would hopefully see a more balanced attack where you're not leaning too much on Bucky to forcefully run the ball. And again, when you can make guys miss a lot, you're putting a lot of strain on your own body. So don't do too much where you're hurting yourself so early on because it's a long tenured season. So let's see. Because I really think last year they should have learned Kate Otten can be a viable option. And if you need to lean on someone, I would lean on him over Ibuka. Just saying. Like I would say the order should be Evans, Otten, Ibuka after that. Like he's just a reliable middle of the field safety net. Use him. Right. Yes, he has a sparingly little drop here and there. Mike Evans has the same damn crap. But if Chris Godwin's on the field, McMillan's on the field, Otten is a tried and true consistent player. I would not heavily lean on a rookie if he's not wide the hell open. So
yeah. And I would just add to that. I think the biggest factor or difference that we might see with this offense is the use of the running backs in the passing game. And I would argue that you get Bucky and Rashad the ball out in space and use their ability to create matchups. We've already seen a touchdown pass to Bucky Irving in preseason. I know it's preseason, but still just the possibilities of having these guys line up out wide and actually them run actual routes, unlike they did last year. I mean, they were out wide at times last year, but most of the time it was just a screenplay, getting them the ball. But this time you can use Rashad, running slants or doing some type of drag route, doing something different. And we can see that with Tez Johnson and et cetera, Sterling Shepard as well. So I agree with you. I think those concerns are definitely valid. Can Grizzard, step in and take off where this offense was last year, or how does he build it up? I think it's going to be important to watch. And then really it's the left tackle, Charlie Heck. Like how how do you adjust with him being in there? How does your passing game set up? How do you run the football? Because you don't want to be too, one-sided, especially when you're running. I know it's great to run to the right side because that's where your strength is, but you also have to be diverse in how you call it. So those are two factors definitely to look for, or concerns, I should say, on offense. Let's switch over to defense and just what is your concerns there as you look at this unit?
Another thing from preseason, Tyke Smith's communication with the corners.
Yep.
Going from nickelback to safety, deep safety, sometimes in the box. You already saw the blame go to Jamel Dean, but there was communication issues with Tyke. That's preseason. Hopefully it gets ironed out in the regular season.
Right.
But still, it's that a whole new thing you're relying on. Great player, but there's still a time to adjust to the position. I know you played it in West Virginia, a little bit out at Georgia.
Right.
So he was mainly a nickel. It was 2 successful years in Georgia. So yeah, that's probably my biggest head scratcher. How much of an influence can Hassan Reddick truly be? We know what we're going to get with Elijah Cansey and Vita Vea when they're healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But if Reddick can be the guy he was in Carolina and in Philadelphia, this defense is a whole other level. Like, not upper echelon. Like, we're talking top 10 easy defense, because that makes everyone around him so much better. And Bowles doesn't have to do certain things. Like, I would expect Logan Hall to at least hit his 5.5 sacks again if Hassan Reddick is that good. If he gets up to that upper echelon of 10 plus sacks, he normally used to do, everyone around him is going to eat, because you're worried about the edge rusher. So, I mean, besides that, it's always injuries with this defense.
Yeah.
Right. Other than that, Levante's so consistent. Like I mentioned, Elijah Cansey, Vita Vea, consistent. Yaya, if he has that combo with Hassan, look the hell out. I mean, to me, it's just health. Jamel Dean, I'm not going to say anything bad, because I'm just going to be positive on this.
Mm-hmm.
But at least this time you have youth behind him and guys chomping at the bit to get out there to prove themselves. Athletes that have already proven it on the training camp field. Jacob Parrish proved it in the preseason. At least you have guys that you can step in. And like earlier, Bryce Hall is awaiting in the practice squad. So
yeah,
other than that, it's health. And if Hassan Reddick can be that dude, this defense is going to be special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I agree with your concerns there. I think for me, it starts with Servassier Dennis. I think he's got to. I'm confident that he's going to be that steady linebacker that this defense needs, especially in the middle, not only in coverage, but also helping with run fits, and also being that blitzing linebacker that this defense kind of relies on. And we've seen it in the past, with Devin White and Levante, and the ability to get back to doing those AA gap blitzes that we often see, and they can run it the right way. And you can create so much with that. I think that is going to be fun, and so with Servassier, again, it's about health, and can he be that guy for this team? I think that's going to be a big question, or a big thing to monitor. And if he can, if the answer is yes, then this defense gets that much better. And I know we saw it in a limited fashion last year, especially in the Detroit game. He showed the signs, but now can he do it on a consistent level and be there? And then other than that, I think it's just, again, like you said, the main one, health. But also, I will say this: Benjamin Morrison is coming, ladies and gentlemen. He is on the way, and I think he is going to be an absolute stud for this defense. I am very confident in his abilities, and it would not surprise me if he's the starter down the stretch as we go forward throughout the season. But I also like Jamel Dean. I think he's a good player when he is healthy, and so hopefully Dean and McCollum, step up. And then, Tyke Smith is also another concern for me, just because, again, new position, safety, that is something I do look out for, and see how he adjusts in that role. Because again, it's different. You're playing from the top and you're going top down. So that's going to be something to look for.
One other concern. I just had something pop in my head that was funny. I was going to bring it up later.
Okay.
Another big concern, if Hassan Reddick isn't that true elite guy, you're going to have pressure by committee.
Yeah.
Does Chris Braswell offer anything?
Right.
Because Yaya's going to bring something, but you have to have some rotation of guys flooding the gates, right? And if Hassan Reddick isn't the dude to scare the shit out of people, you're going to have a bunch of them that are just going fresh legs getting into it. If Chris Braswell can be a third edge rusher, rotational guy, Anthony Nelson is what he is. He's never going to be a scary guy, but he just does the right things. And that's why he's always on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I just think if this, then that. If Hassan Reddick isn't exploding onto the field, Chris Braswell better take that step up. Right. That's my hope. If this, then that.
Yeah, I mean, we hope for that. And again, it brings to Aaron's question here, because the Buccaneers did sign Mo Kamara to their practice squad, and maybe he's a guy they look at if someone is not producing like they expect, whether that's Braswell or whoever. Maybe he joins the roster and takes over for Marquise Watt's position, becomes the fifth edge rusher, and maybe he gets involved in the rotation. But personally, I feel like Kamara is just going to be on the team as a redshirt guy, and he'll be brought up in case there's an injury, which we hope doesn't happen, but he'll be a guy that they could maybe count on towards the second half of the year if someone does go down due to injury. But yeah, all of those are really great points.
This is plus talking about
what you
Benjamin Morrison. This is you talking about Benjamin Morrison and Jacob Parrish.
Oh, I don't know if the audio is playing. You probably have to share. You have to share the window.
I did. Damn it.
I don't know. I don't know if they could hear that. I couldn't hear it. Maybe
did anyone hear it?
Yeah, maybe
they had to have heard that. Because that was beautiful. It was literally how you feel about Benjamin Morrison.
Yeah.
And Jacob Parrish coming. Did anyone hear that? Please give me a green light. Entire. Let's try this again. Oh, there we go. I got to click the toggle. Dumb. Gosh,
there
Mark,
you go.
you dumb. There we go. Plus, this is it. This one's better. This is 100% how I feel about you with Benjamin Morrison and Jacob Parrish.
But that's the one thing you got to worry about, man. Them young boys coming.
They are down 3 games to 2.
Hey, that's the truth. That's the truth. I mean, how can you not be excited about this guy right here? I mean, just look how good this guy is. I mean, he makes plays. He was in position constantly. Just an overall good player. I mean, it's hard not to be excited about this guy. And I know it sucks he's been out with the quad injury, and hopefully this is it. Like, he stays healthy moving forward. But I'm just so excited because I think he's going to really help this team. And you just have another guy out there that's capable of making plays and being a factor. And the same thing with like Jacob Parrish. I mean, he's just going to be so fun to watch. And I mean, again, he was awesome in preseason. Just great overall and making plays. And so, yeah, I mean, I can't wait. And hopefully we see, stuff like this where we're intercepting passes and actually catching the ball. Like, that's going to be key. So yeah, I mean, the upside for this team is definitely there. I think it's going to be fun to watch and see how they match up with this Falcons team. And I think they match up well, especially with them being healthy for the majority on both sides of the ball. And they have the talent to really take over this game if they play it the right way.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, here's a question. So Kobe Goat Mamba said, why do Buck fans overhype Yaya?
Oh.
So I don't necessarily think people overhype him because he had one rookie season where he put up some numbers and then it's just been a fizzle. It's just, he has a lot of potential, but he's a he's a power guy that has speed, but he doesn't necessarily use his speed. So it's like, when does he put it all together? Like, you can't hype up a guy when you haven't really seen anything just yet. So I'm not hyping him up. I just know he has potential, but a guy like Hassan Reddick has shown it, and he has the ability. It's just more put it all together. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think, again, he is going to be helped out by the addition of Hassan Reddick. I think that's going to free him up and give him an opportunity to get a lot of cleanup sacks. The same with, Kalijah Cansey and Vita Vea as well. I want to bring up this point because this is something I think I mentioned to you. I think this could be a move that could be made, especially if things don't work out or get done in a way by Chris Braswell. I would love to see Zadarius Smith be brought in just because he had 9 sacks last year. Again, another proven veteran, a guy that can come in and really give you an edge rush to go alongside Braswell, have Nelson be your 5th guy, and kind of rotate that way, and even play Nelson more on the interior, which I think they should do. But again, that's more of a positional thing that they probably won't. But what's your thoughts on that? Is that something that the Buccaneers should explore?
Yeah, I think when we talked about it, I was like, I would expect a move like that later in the season, not necessarily early. Because, like, you've heard them talk so much good things about Chris Braswell, and Jason Light likes to rely on his guys, his picks,
Right.
especially if he has strong faith in them. I mean, you've seen him just dump kickers and punters quickly. But the guys he picks, he usually stands strong and pounds the table for him. So I think, unless, like you just said, mid-season, things aren't looking how they should be from the edge rushing perspective, a guy like that would be signed. Or a playoff run push, a guy like that, it's a veteran, prove-it type of guy, would be signed. So I just don't think early on they would do it. But, I mean, but also the Yaya point, this pretty much sums it up how we feel. Like, Hassan and Yaya are going to be fine. Can't throw Hassan out because of a year being on the Jets. Yaya will have a big year with less attention on him, more attention on Hassan. But that's also telling, because Yaya couldn't necessarily do it with Vita Vea and Kalijah Cansey drawing attention. So, yes, he got doubled at points last year, and he talked about it, but still, he didn't make that big jump. Yes, he got more pressures. Don't get me wrong, may have not accumulated to sacks, but that's all people really care about when it looks at fans. But imagine the pressure rate that he had last year, but now just being singled because of Hassan. That's why those numbers should jump. It's not necessarily a hype. It's more just reading the numbers and what could happen. Yeah,
for sure. So yeah, with that said, just want to kind of do a rundown of what we discussed so far. Obviously we talked about the Luke Goedeke extension, our excitement for week 1 of the NFL season. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're both excited that it's finally here. We get to talk about, real football. And I think the biggest message I want to just present to you guys that are listening, make sure you embrace every week, because these weeks go by so fast. Like, you really have to enjoy them, win or loss. Obviously we want to win, but I think it's just important to really embrace the moment and enjoy every game. But we also talked about this matchup, the Buccaneers against the Atlanta Falcons. This is going to be a game where I think it's going to be a very good measuring stick of how serious are the Buccaneers about being one of those contenders, in the NFC. And I think this is just a good litmus test. Do we run away in this game? Is it going to be close? Usually division games and the Falcons games are always kind of 1-score games. They're always close. But is this the year where Buccaneers finally put their foot down and win by double digits or more? And again, I think that is going to be something to look out for early on. Like, how do we come out? Can we start fast on offense? Defensively, can we set the tone as far as being physical and getting after the quarterback? Those are 2 things I'm definitely looking for in this game, and just the matchup overall. It should be a fun one. But how much steps has this team taken, especially on defense, I think is going to be, something to watch out for.
No, I agree on both facets.
Yeah.
The defense improvements have to be there. I mean, Todd Bowles, I know you sent me that thing today of I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, he's excited. He's one of 32 coaches in the NFL, but he's also stressed because he's got to perform, right? To keep your job, you got to perform. So you're going against an NFC South foe. You're looking to go, 5 straight NFC South titles. This would be one hell of a way to start it with a victory on the road against an NFC South foe. I mean, and like you just said, he has to improve on defense. You can't perform like you did last year and say you're a defensive head coach. That's the biggest thing to me. And then putting your foot down on someone's throat, even though you're in the lead. Great teams do that. They don't give a shit. They're better than you. They're going to prove it to you. And they want everyone to know that to drive fear into the rest of the league. It's just part of it. You have to have that. It's a grown man's game. So you have to have any opportunity to score because teams can come back. You like that, right? You like that. Kirk Cousins came back on us big time. And guess what? 500 yards last year. But overall, do we have that killer instinct like you just mentioned? I want to see that offense have it, but in a formidable way, not where you're forcing things, right? Where it's more you're dominating that much in the running game and you're dictating. Oh no, it's a 3rd and 1. Oh no, we're going to get this through the run. Don't worry. That's the type of way I'm talking about. Or you're just scheming things up correctly. And defensively, get after it, have your identity early and often, and let's see what we can be.
Yeah, for sure. And again, it's a big game for both teams, I think. And when you're looking at Atlanta's perspective, again, they're trying to come out and show that they're serious about winning this division and being a contender, whether that's, second place in a wild card or challenging the Bucs for first place, because again, this Falcons team is talented. They have a lot of weapons, as I mentioned, on offense. They have a defense that I think is trying to find their way. I don't know if they have that consistent pass rush yet. That's something they're still trying to find. The secondary still has its question marks, but they're also a team, led by a young quarterback that has a lot of arm talent and can make big plays down the field. So how do they shape up? And can they, challenge the Bucs in this game and come out on top? Because when you look at it, they 1 point last year, they were in first place by quite a margin, but they had their fall and the Bucs ended up taking over at the end. So this is going to be a huge game. I think it's going to be fun to watch and see how the Buccaneers handle any type of adversity that comes their way throughout the game, what type of adjustments are made, and how can they finish this game and find a way to beat Atlanta. So I'm looking forward to it. It should be a fun one for sure.
Yeah, two other talking points of Atlanta, giving them some props or whatever. Zach Robinson, 2nd year as offensive coordinator.
Right.
He's likely going to be better at play calling. He has a more mobile quarterback. He can open up the playbook a lot more. Be weary of that. I know our guys are healthy and everything, but still, you have a mover at quarterback that can make any throw. He's going to move the pocket, I think, a lot. And then Jeff Ulbrich takes over as their DC. Raheem, we know, is a great in-game manager of changing what's going to happen in the game. So does he talk with Jeff Ulbrich about that? It's more of a hands-on with the whole entire team instead of calling plays. But that defense is so young. Yeah, they have a couple pieces that are veteran, but I mean, you're just so young in the secondary, but you're led by Jesse Bates. There's areas to attack, but they're going to be a very fast, aggressive defense. Rizard's going to have to manipulate that, right? And then, like I was saying, when we need to run the ball, you got to run the ball.
Yep. It should be a good one. So with that said, guys, we appreciate everyone joining us here tonight. It was awesome to see everyone in the comments. We have fans from both teams in here, so that's great. A lot of newcomers, which is awesome. And be sure to, again, join our channel. We have memberships on our YouTube that you can join, get exclusive access to videos, get early access. So join and become an RBT insider, but also check out our Substack because, not that. let
Ain't
me
it?
remove that.
That's me.
Yep. Check out our Substack here, Real Buck Stock. You can go on there. We have a video up of the Falcons offense talking about how they feature Bijan Robinson and Drake London. They really do a good job at that. And they kind of work, off of that and find ways to continue to attack the defense. So that's one video. That's one example. We'll have more kind of that kind of content coming up as far as, how can the Bucs attack this Falcons defense and vice versa. And we'll kind of continue to show, more exclusive content like that on the Substack. So be sure to join us there. And with that said, I think it's going to close us out. Again, we appreciate everyone in here. Very excited about the game. Be sure to hit that like button and let us know what you guys think. Leave comments in the video below. Give us a score prediction. What do you think for the season overall? How do you think the Bucs will finish this year? Let us have it. And with that said, I think we're good to go. Mark, any last words?
Final score plus, give it.
Final score, I say 31-17 Buccaneers.
Jeez.
Yep.
That would be phenomenal. Plus, I would love that. I'm just gonna say because of the lack of receivers, and we're gonna get 28.
Okay.
28-14, I'll say.
All right. I like it. Confident.
But we're winning. We'll be winning that game.
Good stuff. Buccaneers start 1-0 for, I think that would be the, what is that, 4th straight time under Todd Bowles. He's 3-0 in week 1 game. So hopefully that trend continues. But with that said, everyone have a great night. Go Bucs, and we'll see you on the next one.
Woo!